We are just going to get straight on now with the next talk on this track. If you did want to go change at this point, upstairs we've got App Builder and Composable Commerce on the technical track. But I suspect a lot of you want to hang around here in the merchant track, so now it's time for session 9 of 10 on this track. For that we have Chloë Thomas, the e-commerce marketing problem solver, who is a best-selling author, international speaker, and host of both the award-winning e-commerce Masterplan and Keep Optimizing podcasts, which often top global charts. She's also recently been awarded the title of LinkedIn Top Retail Voice. An e-commerce veteran of over 20 years, there's barely a part of the landscape she's not involved in. And today she's going to help with your marketing problems. So please put your hands together for Chloë.
Well, hello everybody. What an awesome day it's been to be down here in London, or up here in London town. I have been sat where you are for every session apart from the last one where I had to go and sit back there. And I have to say my head is going ba-ding, ba-ding, ba-ding with ideas right now. So it's going to be quite a challenge to actually focus on what I'm supposed to be talking about because I've got all this stuff firing around. I am going to be taking you through a deceptively simple marketing tactic, strategy probably, but one that it's quite hard to put together. So this is going to be a little bit different to sessions like Matt's session earlier, which fully both exploded and imploded my brain, anyone who was here for the Google Tag Manager session. A little bit more sedate than that, but hopefully just as value-packed and hopefully going to give you just as many ideas for taking things forward in your business. So the most important thing about this slide is the link top left. Okay, so that's a little short link that will take you to a page on my website where I've put a whole load of resources to help you take the things I talk about in this session further. You don't have to give me your email address. 90% of them are podcast episodes, so you don't even have to give an email address to access it. There's a couple of stats that I'm not going to talk about. That will become clear later. The actual reports they come from are via that link as well. For those of you going, oh, I'm not sure if I want the link or not, I don't know if she's any good, totally fine. I will put the link up again on the last slide. You may wait on judgment until then, that's fine. I've been in the industry for 20 years. I started off client side working for a multi-channel retailer in the early 2000s. Yeah, that was tough. Then I became the owner of a marketing agency that I ran for 10 years, and now I'm privileged to be in the position where I get to think, speak, and write for a living. Still pinching myself about that one and really hoping it's going to carry on for another decade at least. You've got my book and my 2 podcasts are up on the screen there. Keep Optimizing is all about marketing, and e-commerce Masterplan is stories of retailers. It's kind of one of the OG, if I'm not too old to use that phrase, e-commerce podcast, been going since 2015, so I challenge you not to find an episode you find interesting on that one. This slide I first started using during the pandemic to talk about the roller coaster we were all going through, and I haven't yet retired it. It starts almost all my sessions because, well, as we've all learned today, the roller coaster isn't ending anytime soon. We've got the economic challenges, we've got the environmental challenges, we've got consumers changing their behaviors left, right, and center. So I don't think I'm going to stop using this anytime soon. I said I spend a lot of my time thinking, writing, speaking these days, and the thing I mainly ponder upon is what the winners in the next X time period will have done to become those winners. So if we magic ourselves to 2030 and look back, what will the winners of the 2020s, those who stand out as the best and the brightest amongst us, have done to achieve that? And it could be get great at Google Tag Manager. It could be really understand the stats. It could be master email marketing. But I think increasingly the thing which is going to really pull them all together is going to be the way in which they've connected with their customers. Now, I know you're hearing this all over the place. I think I've been standing on stages and talking about it since about 2018. And it's one of those strategies that's deceptively simple but quite hard to put in place, and one of those strategies where when you hear the model that resonates with you, that's when it fits for you. So I'm hoping the model I'm going to take you through today, which is a bit of a grand term for what I'm going to take you through today, is what's going to make it resonate for you. If not, that's cool. Hopefully you'll take something away. Fingers crossed. Why do I think connection is the important thing? Well, it comes down to two things, really. One, it's a USP. Do it well, it's an unbeatable thing that your competitors can't take away from you. Secondly, is the impact it has on your customers' use of your business and how they talk about your business. It builds trust, which means it increases conversion rates, it increases referrals, it increases customer lifetime value, it makes them more forgiving when you make a little mistake as well. So it delivers on many angles, but it's really hard to do. And I should also say, I come at this as I'm 99% performance marketer, so these concepts I find quite hard. So I try and drill it down to something everyone can understand. So I hope this is going to help. I'm going to go through it in three ways. First, what, then how, then where. So let's start off with what. I am a huge fan of listening to the customers to find the answer. However, you should not do that here, even though we're looking to connect with the customers. You need to start with making a connection about something you actually want to talk about. So I've got 4 retailers as examples here for you. All 4 have fairly recently been on the Ecommerce Masterplan podcast. So if you want to hear the founders of these businesses or senior people in these businesses talking about how they make connections with their customers and more on what I'm about to show you, feel free to listen. First one is Mama Bamboo. They are a business whose goal is to be the most recommended eco-nappy brand. And that's what they build into the connections they build with their customers. Everything they talk about is designed to create a referral. Hence, their website doesn't have an email sign-up pop-up, it has a refer a friend pop-up. Simple, but this is how it starts to drill through everything that you do. Secondly, it's Look Fabulous Forever, which will not be a surprise brand to anyone who was in here earlier. I can see you're at the front there. Hello. So I'm probably going to get this wrong. It's partly updated as a result of the earlier presentation. So Look Fabulous Forever about empowering women over the age of 60 to feel strong and celebrate their lives, which I've got wrong. Sorry. But the sense is there. I got the wording wrong. So everything that they're talking to their customers about is about helping them live a more empowered life, a more successful life. And that's why the Facebook group they started at the beginning of the pandemic to help the older ladies in our society through a challenging time is continuing to thrive and continuing to benefit their business right now. Thirdly, mission. Slow Denim are on a mission to end fast fashion. That's what they talk about. That's what's got them as a startup to over $1 million in sales of their products already. So they're all about their mission. The fourth one is a bit of a curveball, because we've kind of like had help the customers, we've had goals, we've had missions. This is a company called Sheets and Giggles from the US. They are selling eco bedding, and they could talk about bedding, they could talk about eco. Beginning of 2022, Colin, the founder, went, I've had enough of this Facebook ads nightmare, not in that weird English accent I just used, in an American accent, and he cut all their Facebook ad spending and redeployed it into podcast advertising. Did he sponsor sleep podcasts? No. Did he sponsor eco podcasts? No. He sponsored a basketball podcast. And went all in on sponsoring the basketball podcast, flying the hosts to games they wanted to report on. They did merchandise, they devoted their social media handles to it, and they're still doing it to this day because it's delivered and delivered and delivered. So they found something that the owner was passionate about and found a way of tapping into that community and building a community for their business around it. So I like to put a curveball in there every now and then, and what's more weird than a Sheets brand sponsoring a basketball podcast? So that's what comes from within your business. It's what you want to be talking about. But then to make it powerful, you need to work out how you're going to build that connection. And this is where listening to the customer comes in. So you need to find a way of mirroring the thoughts, feelings, words, and deeds of your customers and bringing that into the way you talk about the things you want to talk about in order to build the connection. So going back to Slow Denim, in fast fashion, there's about 1,000,001 things you could talk about. So what Slow Denim have done is they've looked at what they're getting the best reactions to, which of those stories within anti-fast fashion they can get the best reaction to, where the comments are coming from on their TikTok videos, and then what they take that into the rest of their strategy. So you need to listen to the customers, see what they're saying, Potentially run surveys, run focus groups. That kind of stuff's great because it builds connection. The action of running a survey builds connection with the customers because they want you to be interested in what they want to talk about. This is also where UGC can be hugely powerful as well. It's kind of like the fast track to building connection is to start getting your customers to be creating your creative for you. Simple example of this. This is Cheeky Wipes. They are a reusable baby wipe brand, and they used to talk about how their product was better for your skin than disposable wipes and about the eco side of the disposable wipes. Middle of last year, Helen, the owner, was paying attention to some of her customer service messages, so everyone was talking about value. So now, front and center on their website, you don't get a discount, you get a value update, which both says you can pay in installments and reminds you of how much you're likely to spend on baby wipes over the next X years. It's too small font down there for me to be able to read it, sorry. So it can be a really simple change, it can be a really big change, but if you can combine those two parts of what you want to talk about as a business and how your customers will react, or how you can connect with your customers on those subjects, it becomes a very powerful way to be building that connection with them. Now, if you're sat there going, oh my God, I have no idea how to do any of that, that sounds like way too much hard work, you can fast track it by jumping on the biggest consumer trend we have around at the moment, the one that is just going to keep growing. These are the two stats I'm not going to walk through because we've had several people talking in far more depth than this around the sustainability and the eco side of things today. Links to the details on those stats are on some other slides for you. Instead, I'm going to spend a little bit more time talking about the 3 simple ways of building the sustainability story into your marketing. The first one, coming back to what Look Fabulous Forever do, is help them. So on that, actually, I will talk about one of the slides on the quotes very quickly. The Klaviyo stats at the top, UK consumers early last year, 89% say sustainability is important to them, 27% regularly buy sustainable products. Now there's that whole what we say and what we do thing, which makes up a small amount of that, but it doesn't make up the whole thing. The other bit is confusion. Anyone who's tried to make the perfect water bottle purchase or the perfect t-shirt purchase, or just tried to work out, should they accept the sustainably made JH dog, which they have no use for, but it is being sustainably made. Is that a good thing or a bad thing? I don't know. You get so confused over just the simple things. So if we can help consumers, then it becomes a really great way of connecting with them, a way to fill those 4 to 6 months between purchases that one of the panelists was talking about earlier. The example up, there's a company called Grove Collaborative who sell household cleaning products in the US. Phenomenal business, phenomenal growth rates. And as you can see, this is from their homepage. It's all about helping their customers be greener, and their target market are people who already are fairly green. So they're helping the converted. They're not even yet converting the non-converted. Second one is something we like to call active transparency, which is being honest about where you are in the journey and sharing that journey. I love this example from Joe Brown. I think whoever the copywriter was who came up with stepping stones to sustainability deserves a raise, because it is, I would be so tempted to swipe and deploy that phrase if I was working at a retailer today. It's about being honest about where you are and the fact you're not perfect, because newsflash, nobody is perfect on the sustainability stakes yet. No one at all. But by being actively transparent about where you are in the journey, the customers get to learn along with you. They get to feel that connection to you. Then this is a company called Vine House Farm, who do this whole piece of giving to charity, which we heard a bit about earlier with the pennies piece. This is clearly really good because they are delivering an eco-based product. They're giving to an eco-based charity. What you can do if you're already doing this, a very subtle change that will make it more powerful, is to turn it from purpose to purpose 2.0, which is a phrase a marvelous friend of mine called Giles has come up with, who runs a sustainability podcast out of the US, out of Australia even. And purpose 2.0 is where you flip the benefit back on the customer. So rather than saying, we're going to give £1 for every sale to the Wildlife Trust, you're giving £1 to the Wildlife Trust when you buy from us. So you flip the action back on the customer, which creates that connection. So there's 3 examples in the eco space. I realize this is slightly off topic, but I think we all need to be more sustainable, so I really wanted to include those in there. Plus, they're the get-out-of-jail-free card. If you're going that what and how thing Chloe just went through, it's way too difficult. So where do you make this connection? Joe introduced me as a marketing problem solver. I've barely talked about a marketing channel. So where do we need to go about making this connection? Well, sorry guys, everywhere is the answer to this one. It needs to become part of how your brand lives and breathes, through the whole of your sales channel, through the conversations your customers have with other people that you don't even know about, through your parcels, through your products, through your product packaging. Through everything your business does, you need to build this story of connection, whatever that might end up being for your business. And so it's a whole company thing, as we've heard about a number of times today. It's all-encompassing. What I would, however, I'm aware my session is titled How to Connect with Your Customers in 2023, and to upgrade all your marketing collateral on the whole of your business is probably going to take you more than 6 months, and let's be honest, 3 months if you want it to deliver any returns this year. So how I would suggest you start with this is to decide whether in your business it's more important to be building this connection pre or post-purchase. Before you shout at me, I know we should be doing it the whole way through the customer journey. Am I walking the right? I'm walking the wrong way. We should be doing it through the whole of the customer journey, from the very beginning right the way through to the time they become a regular buyer. However, we have to start somewhere. So for some businesses, it's all about the post-purchase activity. That's where you build the connection. They come, they get the product, that's fairly easy, and then it's all about building the retention, building the customer lifetime value. For other businesses rather, it's more about what happens up front, and that will partly depend on what your messaging is. We looked at Mama Bamboo earlier, the eco nappy brand, who are about getting customer referrals. Clearly, more important for them to focus initially on doing the post-purchase than it is for them to focus on doing the earlier stage. For a brand like Look Fabulous Forever, who is all about helping the customer, yeah, there's some post-purchase how to use your foundation, but there's also an awful lot of trust that needs to be built up early on so they know they're in the right place. I'm not looking at Janice in case she disagrees with me on that one. She's laughing, it's okay, got away with it. So start off with that, and then start with your most noisy channels. So if you're big in email marketing, start with getting it right in the email marketing and then rolling out to other places. And then stack it up across all your marketing and even into your promotional decisions as well come into this. So I said I would give you that link again. So chloelink.com/mm23uk will give you more resources on all those bits and pieces I've been talking about. I am not going to have time for questions. I'm also running out of here to catch a train. So if you've got any follow-up questions, please find me on LinkedIn. As Joe mentioned, I am still coming to terms with the fact I'm now a LinkedIn top voice in retail. Some of you may be going, really? She is? Yeah, work for it next year, guys. Maybe it's a low barrier to entry. So I should be pretty easy to find on LinkedIn, but there is a link via the link to be on LinkedIn, and I will be bored on a train till approximately 8 o'clock tonight, at which point Netflix is being turned on and the LinkedIn is being turned off. So get me questions before 8, and I will do my best to get back to you tonight on those. So we've talked all day long about the need to take a longer-term vision for your business. I heartily stand by that message and the ways in which everyone has put it forwards today. For me, I think if you want to be a winner in the 2020s, you need to find a way to connect with your customers, and you need to build that, what connection to make, how to connect with them, and where to connect with them. Find the powerful way to do that. Start testing and working on it now, because the sooner you start, the sooner the impetus will build up, and forgotten the words, the big graphy thing. God, I was building up such a good finish there. The big graphy thing, exponential growth. Thank you. The exponential growth will come from all these small iterations that you make. Thank you all. I hope that has helped you build a better marketing strategy for 2023. Thank you.